So IFL TV recently posed the question on X: is Usyk versus Moses Itauma now a bigger fight than Fury versus AJ? Now, in my opinion, it actually is. Now, Moses Itauma's got a load of media hype behind him, and he's got a huge highlight reel knockout over Dillian White. Now, he's going to be fighting Jermaine Franklin next, and then maybe even Lawrence Okoli if he wants to go down the WBC route after that. If he delivers highlight reel knockouts against both of those guys, in terms of Jermaine Franklin and Lawrence Okoli, and he's got, like I said, Okoli, Franklin, and what's his name that he just beat, Dillian White on his resume, highlight reel knockouts, he's going to have a lot of media, even more media hype behind him. And then once that fight versus Usyk is booked, I just know the way British media are going to get behind Moses Itauma. They're going to hype him up so much. They're going to make this fight bigger than what Fury v AJ is, in my opinion. Because I know once the promotion is there, the whole media machine is going to be pushed behind Moses. And, there's going to be a lot of hype behind Usyk as well, because we know that Usyk's a guy who's a heavyweight legend, an all-time great at heavyweight, in my opinion. Not the greatest, but an all-time great, for sure, in those conversations. In my opinion, in modern history, in terms of guys that I've witnessed, in terms of the guys that I've witnessed live, Usyk is by far the best, because he's better than Klitschko and he's beat Fury twice, right? But then you get, generation before, the Lennox Lewis's, the Mike Tysons. I think he's better than Mike Tyson. I think Lennox Lewis is really the only guy. Lennox Lewis, Muhammad Ali, these types of guys, they're really the only type of guys, maybe a Joe Frazier, that are in those conversations and could potentially give Usyk trouble. But I'm talking, at that point, you're in truly elite company. Do you know what I'm saying? You're not like, oh, maybe Holyfield will beat you. I think he'd beat Holyfield pretty easily. And Holyfield's, again, another guy who's an all-time great to a lot of people. And I think Usyk would handle him. Right? Even if that fight took place at cruiserweight, I think Usyk would handle him. Both guys are former cruiserweights. So again, Usyk's got an insane career there. Like I said, he's an all-time great. You match that with the hype that Moses would then have if he had the subsequent 2 wins that I was mentioning on highlight reel knockouts, undefeated, young kid from England, got mixed heritage background, country background from his parents. A guy who's fast, he's powerful, he's young. He's got devastating knockouts. He's got serious power. And it's been a long time since Britain's had a young boxer like this at heavyweight who's got this much hype. Not since AJ. And AJ's hype, if we're being honest, for the most part finished when he lost to Andy Ruiz. Even though he rematched Andy Ruiz and would go on to win a number of relatively high profile matches, and then he would get outclassed by Usyk, right, twice. So that's sort of taken AJ, it's dampened his hype significantly. And then, of course, he loses to Daniel Dubois. And if we're being honest, AJ's stock is near an all-time low. He's now even fighting Jake Paul. But again, like I'm saying, that's proving my point that not since Anthony Joshua have we had a young British heavyweight star. I mean, to be fair, actually, cool cap on that, because we have got Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois is young and he's a British star, but he's not as young as Moses. And we've got Fabio Wardley, and again, he's a British star as well. But Moses is young. Moses is young. And Daniel Dubois is young as well. I think Fabio Ward is older than Dubois. But, it's just an interesting situation. And I think it would be bigger than Fury v AJ. Even though, again, you're looking at both guys' individual names. And Fury's a big name and AJ's still a very big name. That fight would, of course, do big numbers. But I in a weird way, both guys are, not in a weird way, both guys are heavily removed from their primes, in my opinion, far removed from their primes, nowhere near as good as what they used to be, particularly AJ. I think Tyson Fury is closer to his prime, because Tyson Fury, all he had, he just got... And again, there was competitive moments in those fights against Usyk. It's not like he got completely outdone. He kind of did. He kind of did at some points, but he was competitive against Usyk. He was. Because he's a good boxer at the end of the day. Even when he loses, even when he has a bad night, he still has a good performance, And I think he's good enough to beat Anthony Joshua quite easily, and always has been. And as long as they're both still active boxers, he always will be good enough to beat Anthony Joshua, in my opinion. Because I don't even think Anthony Joshua's, at this point, quick enough and powerful enough to land... I mean, he's powerful enough to land a big shot on Tyson Fury, but I don't think he's quick enough, honestly. Don't think he's quick enough. But yeah, I'd be super curious to know what you guys think of this. Do you think AJ v Fury would be a bigger match? Or, in my opinion, I think Usyk v Moses would be the biggest match you can make everywhere. I'd be super curious to know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know in the comments below. Another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest in the bag, and I'm out. Peace.